there, and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. You know what happens when you combine a lemon with a cat? You get a sourpuss. Ah? Ah? Sour? Puss? Meow? Anyway, you get it. Welcome back. Today we are trying a soda from the vault, I guess, if you will. Um, last year in June, my husband and I went to go visit his relatives, and we stopped in this town of Shawano. It's spelled Shawano. So it looks like Shawano, but as I was reminded several times, it's pronounced Shawano. The other A is missing, presumed dead. Anyway, so part of the reason that we went there is that my husband was telling me that this brewery or beverage maker, Twigs, locally owned, was the first people to make Sun Drop. Now, this was news to me as a Southerner because I grew up with Sun Drop. Like, I love me some good citrusy goodness. Um, so it was news to me that Sun Drop had its roots in this small town in Wisconsin. Uh, I actually covered a lot of the history of this in the interim time between when I first started making posts on Facebook about all the sodas and stuff I was trying, and when I finally started pivoting to video. So some of this stuff, if you've been following on Facebook for a while, is going to be a little bit of a rehash. But for those of you who are just channel, which by the way, hey, um, to recap, long story short, so this dude, um, the small Wisconsin bottler probably wasn't the first one to make Sundrop. Sundrop was sort of proprietary, but they were the first ones definitely in Wisconsin, if not the North or the Midwest, right, to take on bottling Sundrop, right? So we went to the factory and we saw Sundrop, and Bob tried his first taste of it and said it was a little too citrusy for him, and he was closer to Mountain Dew than he would prefer. And I tried it, and for me, it tasted a little sweeter than I expected. Most of the sun drops I've had that little bit of tartness, right? Um, cool thing about it too is that they actually put on a sun drop festival every year, which one of these days I'm gonna go because that sounds utterly fascinating to me. But long story short, still active, still actively bottling, and not just Sundrop, a lot of their own original flavors. And during that time last year, I bought like a 12 pack of their OG flavors, like the flavors that they had at the time. And I made the commitment that I was going to try all 12 for the channel because I was going to do it for y'all. As you can see, that didn't happen. I, there's no real reason for it. It's just that I had a lot of content and then things happened. And long story short, it just never came to fruition. And now, as I lean more into more different sodas and things like that, a lot of the flavors that Twigs provides are uh, good, but they're not unique. But they are good. So I would highly recommend them. That's not a dig at all. But as I was looking through the flavors and things like that, I tried their blue raspberry. They had a green apple. They got your standard root beer, um, and they actually have what I think is very nice called a forget me not grape, which proceeds from that go to Alzheimer's research. And I kind of just want to hype that. But as I was looking through the flavors, I saw sour, and is it actually sour? I'm not sure. We're going to find out. But I was just kind of mystified. You have all these normal flavors and you just have sour. So I thought this is a good enough candidate as any, especially since we've been trying some sour sodas recently, and I'm always a sucker for that. So with that, let's pivot into the soda itself. So a lot. Twigs currently, whenever they bottle their original stuff, the label looks like this. I think it's a nice design. It's clear, it's sharp. I like the contrast of the dark with the gold. And as you can see, this just looks very cloudy, as if perhaps it might be full of sour mix. So we'll find out. To read you what's on the side, in 1951, Floyd Hartwig, or Twig, as he was known around town, started Twig's Beverage in Shawano, Wisconsin. With a humble beginning, Floyd would sell a case of soda and use the money to buy a loaf of bread for his family. 60 years later, Twig's Beverage still remains a family business, valuing the traditions created from its modest origins. Staying true to its roots, Twig still makes its sodas in authentic glass bottles. Take a swig of Twigs. And I will say one note as I was reading this. While we were there, people were actively bringing back Sun Drop bottles, empty Sun Drop bottles, to get refilled. It was fascinating to see this in process. I had never seen that before. And so I want to say again, this has a cute little museum in it, but they are genuinely a distributor. So, like, they are making flavors. And if you are around Shawano, I would recommend going. It was a good 2 or 3 hours, and I think it's a cool experience to see kind of a local soda distributor. And with that, also another positive fact: this literally tells me twist off. There is no guessing here. Oh yeah. Well, that smells a little lemonade-y. They do have a lemon lime flavor, which one day I'll perhaps try. I may consider me a little persnickety now about what I drink on the channel. I just don't think lemon lime on its own right is a fun enough flavor to try, to watch. But I probably will try that at my own time. Okay, well, it's definitely got that citric acid feel that makes my nose itch, just like the other sodas we've had recently. Um, it kind of smells like a lemonade soda, a little lemony and things like that. And with that, bottoms up. I think they nailed it. Again, my mouth is flooding with all of the saliva because my mouth is feels like it's under attack. I know they call it sour, but that's a lemonade soda, and it's quite tart. It's got enough sweetness in it. But it tastes like a homemade lemonade with a little bit of bubbly in it. I really like that. I wish they distributed in Michigan because I would buy that again. It's actually really really cool. Wow. But yeah, no, I think that's really cool, and I think it's another um, sort of add on to when we think about distributors and we think about the big names like your Cokes and your Pepsis. Think about the little guy too, because like without having a husband from Wisconsin, I probably would have never heard of these people. Even and I drink Sundrop, so go see them. It's worth it. And if you're there, try the sour soda. A plus plus would drink again. We'll continue to drink once I stop the video. Uh, Next week we are diving back into sodas that are maybe not so weird, but limited time. We talked about Ale8 a while back on the channel, and Ale8 has actually come out with a orange vanilla soda, one that they've combined with the OG soda, and I was intrigued enough about it to purchase it. So we'll try that next week. Until next time, drink weird and support small businesses, yo. See you next time.